Oh, you guys, do I have a treat for you. Let's see what's inside. In we go. I am so thrilled that this is here. Okay. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And there's a cat on it. Wow. Wow. And wow. I love paint. Okay. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's so cute. It is so much smaller than I thought it would be, which is perfect. I love them when they're small. Palettes, that is. Okay, here goes. Whoa. Wow, look at this. So, a couple of them are cracked. They're not very full. First thing I think when I see this is because they're very empty. I hope they come out with refills because right now they do not have refills available. Look how empty. Comes with a water brush. Okay, pretty typical. Hey, at least the lid stays on this one. And a Mangaka 01 Zig. Teeny tiny little liner. Let's swatch these out and then give them a try in a painting. It is World Watercolor Month after all. Can't wait. However, I received these on the afternoon of the 20th, so I have to show you days 17 through 20 before we get to this one. For day 17, the prompt is spontaneous, and my friend posted that picture you just saw of her girls at Lake Powell, and it just seemed like the perfect thing for spontaneous. And you can see I'm using the fluid watercolor paper here. This is not cotton, it's just regular cellulose or wood pulp paper, and I'm going to try these Kuretake Gansai Tambi. I did that before I even knew these others were even in existence, so kind of ironic. I used the big set of these for this painting. I used the little ceramic palette over on the side because that's one of the downfalls of the big boxes of those Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints is they don't really have a palette, nothing to mix paints on. Because I had been working with cotton paper so much for the rest of the prompts here in World Watercolor, with the exception of a few of course, I noticed immediately the difference between the two. So the paint sat more on the top of this paper, but this paper at the same time was really awesome to work with. So I have to try this paper with different paint combinations because that paint, I don't know, you could just fix anything. You could reblend anything. You could mess it up and put it back, and it was really, really fun to work with, which made me so happy because, you know, we don't always all want to work on cotton paper, and I think fluid is a little bit more affordable than Arches and I don't know the other cottons offhand at the moment because my brain is just not working, but you know, this was really cool paper. I have this in cold press and hot press. I got this paper in the Buy It Try It video. I'll link that up in the corner, and you can see here that is how it turned out. It's really fun. I love it. So that is spontaneous. For day 18 soft, I'm going to use this again. This is the sketchbook we did the boat in, somewhere in here. There we go. And I've taped it off already, and I taped it off into these two sections because I plan on doing soft here. And then I already have a plan for favorite scent, which is tomorrow's prompt. And I thought, why not try the De La Rani Aquafine out again. And I am going to even use the brush that came in it. And I'm going to keep this really simple because I have a lot going on this month, to put it very, very mildly. So super simple, and let's get into it. It's kind of interesting because when I used this set and this brush the first time, I'm like, oh, these are pretty decent. But this time I didn't like the paint or the brush. The brush didn't hold any water, and the paint just seemed watered down. So it might be in the giveaway bin soon. All right, new day. I have this slot left open from yesterday, and I am going to do the prompt favorite scent with this palette that I repurposed here. I'll link that up in the corner for you, with praying watercolors in them. Old praying watercolors. I figure why not? My favorite scent is anything Chinese food or Thai. So let's see what little doodle we can do. We're gonna try this Bestie Bushy Round by Creative Mark. I used this in my last video briefly. This one was actually really fun to do because it was just a doodle. It was kind of like a cartoon. You just make something in real life, but you don't have to make it realistic. So there's my Chinese food, my soy sauce, and later I decided to add in a little wonton. And I got out my Posca pin because I forgot to leave space for the label. Day 19, favorite scent. What's yours? For day 20, I wanted to try out my childhood watercolors. So these are from when I was a kid. I have these featured in my watercolor palettes tours video, which I'll link up there. And you can see they're barely used. So I want to give them a try. I am not going to use this brush. And since I want to give them a fair try, I want to use some cotton paper. And I will use my Be Creative. This is the one I did the fall painting in. I'll use the back side of that, which is not the same as the front side, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I just want to use half of this sheet, so I'm going to tape it off, and we're going to do Wiggle. First of all, it was super fun to work with my childhood watercolors, and for Wiggle, we have this dog in our family that we nickname Wiggle sometimes because she just wiggles when her little owner says hi or anything like that. It's my niece's dog. Anyway, her real name's Maggie, but so I thought of a dog first when I saw this prompt. The color selection in this old palette was just fine, but they reminded me of when you have really thin acrylics and you layer them over the top of each other and they just kind of sit on top of the previous paint. That's kind of what it was like when I tried to put these darker browns in and the other colors like that. And I just grabbed a Posca pen at the very end for some highlights, and there's day 20, Wiggle. And now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the main attraction of this video. Are you guys ready for this? I am. Before I do that, I just want to play with this little, oh, that's cool. So, you're held on by these interesting flippy-doos. Oops, I'm off screen. It's because I'm like fascinated with what I'm doing here. Okay, so they just slip in there and kind of push down a little. So as long as they don't slide up into that hole, we are good. Oh, and their names and stuff are on the back. Let's check one out. Okay, number 32, A20 red. So yeah, they better have refills because look how empty. I mean, I already showed you that, but wow, like, is there any paint in there? You know, it's a good thing in travel sets you don't really need a whole lot of paint, except when you actually start using it and start using all your favorite colors, you're going to need more of it eventually. Okay, on to the fun part. Starting our swatch is number 40, lemon yellow, followed by number 32, red, just plain red, followed by number 139, cobalt violet, 46, burnt sienna, number 60, cobalt blue. Had a hard time getting that one dark enough because I was getting too much water in my brush all the time. This one here is number 11, natural beige, followed by white, number 10, number 43, cadmium yellow, number 34, rose madder, number 51, almost, there we go, sap green light, number 47, raw umber deep, number 64, ultramarine, number 21, gray, interesting color, number 20, black. And then I wanted to see what other greens we could get because I didn't like just having that one green, and I thought the green mix with the lemon yellow would be the best, but it turns out the ones with the cadmium yellow turned out nicer. Now you went ahead and used the little liner pen that came with it to label the swatches, and then I laminated them because I always do that. Yep. Stuck a white gel pen in there for the dark color names, and there they all are. They are so pretty. Okay, all swatched, laminated, and we are going to use this to do the prompt for day 21, organic. And I'm going to be cheap and use the back side of the paper that I swatched this on. We'll see how the back side of Fabriano works. I've tried it before in a previous video for this World Watercolor Month, and it seemed okay. So we'll see how it works with this paint. Box here says that this is Japanese traditional paint for professional artists and crafters, and it can be used as gouache and watered down for use as a watercolor. So I think basically it starts as a gouache, so that's always good to know, good to keep in mind if you're looking at this set. And that's definitely the feel that I got, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in person later there. The prompt is organic, and I couldn't come up with anything terribly creative for that, so we just are doing some cherries. Forgot to hit record. I just did the stems, forgot to hit record. Just really good at that. Anyway, I just used the green that's in the palette already and lightened it for this one with a little bit of that lightest yellow. Now I don't remember what I was doing. This is not the color I meant to dip my brush into, but that's okay. Since I knew this paint was supposed to be more like a gouache than a watercolor, I intentionally painted right over the top of what would have been the bright white highlights of the painting, because I wanted to test the white in this box and see how much it could handle. Like, could it really make these highlights? Is it really going to be opaque over darker colors or more vibrant colors? And yeah, it didn't disappoint. I could also tell when I tried to layer the darker color that I go back in with over the top that, yeah, any layers you put on top definitely going to rework what's underneath if you overwork it. So be real deliberate with your layers. It was at this point that I felt I was pretty well done with it and liked how it turned out. Good enough for now, and stay tuned for more paintings with this little set. I'll explain more about that in a minute. Working with this set was fun. I realized later I should have signed it with this one, but I did use this to put the names in my swatch sheet, so it has been used. Painting these cherries is not enough for me to tell you what I really think about the set, so if you are not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below because I will be using this set again in later episodes for World Watercolor Month, so I will use it again for this month. I just am not sure when yet. Maybe very soon. So yes, go ahead and hit subscribe if you want to see that and get some more opinions on how this is. For now, with just these cherries, I would say it reminds me a lot actually of the Niji watercolors. And I have a few videos on my channel. I'll try and find them and link them up here if I don't already have too many. If there's too many up there, look in the description box below for those. So yeah, they remind me of the Niji ones because they're opaque. The white is definitely goes over the top, so you can see I intentionally left the highlights out because I wanted to test the white and it worked fine. And when I wanted to make the white a little bit lighter, I can just rework it like gouache. I think the set is absolutely adorable. I absolutely love it. The palette is so incredibly sturdy and so much mixing space. It's just a perfect size, absolutely perfect size. For example, here's my cell phone. Zoom me out a bit here. There's my cell phone, and I have an old phone. It's a Galaxy S6, so definitely thicker, but not too bad. And my little swatch sheet, even laminated, even with all this in there, fits right in there. Doesn't even hesitate to close. Hopefully they come up with refills though, because that yellow is so empty, and a bright yellow like that is one that I use constantly, all the time. 24/7. That one's going to run out first, I am almost positive. Anyway, I wish I could tell you way more about how I feel about them, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you'll get lots of opinions on it as I do bigger pieces, more pieces, and play some more with that. I'm also going to use the water brush probably the next time I use this so I can get a good feel for that. That'll probably be in the video that comes out July 31st. Also, this will be linked in the description box below if you want to go buy your own, because it's adorable. Try it out, see what you think. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I really appreciate that. Thank you to all my existing subscribers. You guys are awesome and amazing. And to all you new people, thank you for watching. I put out videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, so I hope that I will see you soon in my next video. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. Bye for now. I just dipped into the green. I was looking at something else. I was looking at my swatch sheet to see which blue I wanted to add to the red, and I just dipped into the green. That was funny. I'm like, that is turning brown. Oh dear, oh my. This natural beige, don't forget that.